Sharon, thank you. A dangerous trend involving pregnant women, the men they love, and murder. An alarming number of women have died at the hands of an intimate partner. This morning, WJZ investigates. Here's Mary Bubala.
In September, an intense search for a beloved Howard County high school teacher.
I pray that she's safe. She comes back.
Days after her boyfriend's plea, the body of 31-year-old Laura Wallen, 4 months pregnant, is found in a shallow grave in Montgomery County. In a movie-like twist, Tyler Tessier, the father of her unborn child, is arrested and charged in her murder. Laura's family suspected him from the start.
He is a monster, and he is a liar.
Allegedly murdered by the man she loved, Laura is sadly not alone. Horrific cases of violence against pregnant women are on the rise. This year in Maryland, a pregnant woman is set on fire, and a wife and mother expecting her second child is shot to death in her car. In both cases, police blame their intimate partners.
Why do you think homicide is a leading cause of death for pregnant women?
If that father doesn't want a relationship with the woman, doesn't want to have a child, that this, I guess, for some men is, an acceptable choice.
A recent report from the CDC shows that out of 10,000 women nationwide, more than half died at the hands of a current or former intimate partner. 15% of them were pregnant.
It's just so tragic.
In the case of Laura Wallen, Montgomery County Police Chief Thomas Manger tells WJZ Tessier is leading a secret life involving other women, and Laura's family had a bad feeling he was involved.
When you first approached Laura Wallen's family and said, we're thinking about including Tyler in the press conference, what was their reaction?
They were absolutely on board 100%. Seeing Laura's mom, hold his hand, father put his arm, or his hand on his shoulder and pat him on the back. So I'm watching this thinking, wow, boy, are they are all in.
Experts tell WJZ pregnancy doesn't fix a troubled relationship and, in fact, can make it worse.
The key element in an intimate partner violence situation, a domestic violence situation, is power and control over the other person.
Jennifer Pollitt-Hill helps victims of domestic violence through Hope Works.
So pregnancy just throws that dynamic off between these two people.
Women who are in dangerous relationships should get help immediately, but for Laura and so many others, it is too late.
When you have a victim who has so much going for her and just thinks her life is just taking off in a wonderful new direction, and then to have her life end so tragically, so terribly, it just makes no sense.
Mary joins us now. And Mary, these statistics are just so sad and surprising.
I know. It is very sad to think that it is the leading cause of death among women who are pregnant. People always think pregnancy, it has complications, it's got to be other things. But somebody put a study together, put these numbers together, and this was the leading cause. It's shocking and it's sad. But, these numbers came out in 2001. And it did get some headlines back then, but here we are 16 years later still dealing with several cases of this. So it hasn't really had an impact yet.
Right. So it's 2017. What can be done?
Exactly. Well, you know what? I talked to the police chief a lot about this. And he said, number one, it has to be awareness. Doing stories like this, talking about it when we have cases like this, to spread the awareness, not just to women, but to their families and also to men. Families need to be aware of signs because sometimes there are signs. In this case, Laura Wallen found herself in a love triangle. Not saying that always leads to this type of tragedy, but it can. When a man feels trapped, there can be this irrational and horrible outcome. And so the chief really just says we need to be discussing this more and bringing it out in the open so they can reverse this type of statistic.
And what's next in this case specifically?
So Tyler Tessier was indicted on 1 count of murder, and there will be some pre-trial hearings, and then it looks like it is slated to go to trial end of winter or early spring. So we will see what happens in the case, and we'll be watching it, monitoring it as it moves forward.
And I think we all had the same reaction when we found out during the press conference that the parents knew.
I know. It was emotional, but the chief says the parents really, really wanted that to happen.
Yeah, they're strong.
They are.
All right. Thank you, Mary, for putting a spotlight on this issue.